Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 49 of my show, but this is about Episode 47 of Season 2. Now, Episode 47 in Season 2 is known as Best Man for the Job. Now, before I actually start talking about this video, I just want to mention something. Since we're on Episode 47, that means we've got, let's see, counting 47, so 47... 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. We got 6 more videos left, counting this one until... Counting this video, we've got 6 more videos. I got 6 more videos left to do before I finish Season 2, so I'm almost done and stuff. So I'm going to be really happy about that. I just thought I'd bring that up there. Anyway, as I was saying, this is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 49 of my show, but this is about episode 47 of 7 of season 2. And episode 47 in the original Power Rangers second season is known as Best Man for the Job. Now, basically, the reason why it's named that is because of a song, and basically, the way this episode starts off is the Rangers, well, the school's having like in the episode, the school's having a class election in this episode, and Billy wants Tommy to run for it as well. Well, he wants Tommy to run, because if he runs, he could be his, like, campaign manager and stuff like that. And then that's where he comes up with the slogan, the best man for the job kind of thing. So he agrees to it. And then basically Aisha mentions that, you know, sometimes, in some cases, the person for the job, man for the job is always a woman. And then basically Kimberly said that she couldn't run against Tommy, basically, but, oh my god, sorry, this is just funny. It's just funny because of the way this is gonna work out. And Bulk has a reason for running, which actually is kind of stupid to his reason for finding out who the Power Rangers are, which I'll explain why when I get to his part in this episode. I just wanted to mention that ahead of time. But Kimberly mentions to Aisha that basically she can't run against Tommy because he's a friend and everything. And then basically Aisha tells Kimberly to think of it this way: at least either one of them will win, so there won't be any hard feelings between it. And that's when she decides that, and that's when she tells Tommy about it, and then they're wishing each other luck, and then basically, that's what, and then basically, when Zed and Rita overhear that, Zed's like, excellent! Nothing ruins a relationship or friendship faster than politics. Which is kind of true, because in some cases, in a political sense, politics can cause problems that don't have to do if you're running against a friend or stuff like that. And basically, this actually leads into Rita and Zed having their own sort of little competition of sorts, because Zed tells Rita that he can use it as an opportunity to set one of his plans in motion to destroy the Rangers. And then Rita mentions about that as well. And she agrees with him about the plan, but she tells him that she has a plan that's better than him. And he's like, you can't be a bad guy, you're not even a guy. Oh, hey, so this episode sort of has Rita and Zed sort of competing against each other sort of thing. Anyway, so it's sort of a twofold effect. Oh, oy vey, I'm sorry, it's just a funny episode because it's so funny. Anyway, continuing on with what I was saying, after that, Zed leaves to start up his plan, and then Rita decides to put her own plan to stop Tommy and to get rid of Tommy and Kimberly in action. She gives Squat and Babu this rope. And she tells them basically to bring that rope with them to the park where Tommy and Kimberly are walking, because at this point in the episode they're going for a walk and stuff. And basically, what her plan is, that rope has a bit of a spell on it that'll turn Tommy and Kimberly super competitive once they trip on it and stuff. And then when Goldar overhears about that, he's like, Rita, does Lord Zed know about this? But then Rita says that he doesn't, but he will. When he does, he'll have to cheat the biggest bad of them all. And basically, that's when they start putting her plan into action. And like I said, when I did that early segment, basically, Tommy and Kimberly are going for a walk in the park. And then Squat and Babu show up on different sides of the park on two different trees with the rope on one end. And then they trip on it, which doesn't affect them quite right away, but it's a spell because it doesn't affect right away, but it does have an effect later on, kind of thing. Sort of similar to how the slippery shark spin affected both Jason and Tommy in season 1. So basically that's what it means. Anyway. And then because of the spell, they start arguing and saying who's going to win. And then basically they get competitive, basically. And then what basically happens is after that, then it goes to the next. Then basically what happens after that is then it goes back to where Goldar is with Zed, and then Goldar informs Zed about Rita's plan to destroy the Rangers herself, and then he tells him to keep an eye on her so that he doesn't interfere with his plan and stuff. And then basically, what happens is, Tommy and Kimberly, who are still under the effect of the spell, basically they start trying to outdo one another, basically, and they keep putting the posters up, and then basically when Kimberly comes over to one of his posters, she vote for Tommy on it, and basically, then Aisha gets a little startled by that because that's going a little too far. I think that's because of the spell's influence, really. Anyway, basically what happens is then after that, Kimberly and Aisha leave, and then Tommy and Billy show up, and then Billy says about him winning by some kind of percentage, and then Tommy says about wanting to win by a bigger percentage, and then Billy tells him, like, he says to him that he's worried about him, like, it's not like him to be so competitive with Kimberly about this. And then that's when this note shows up at Tommy's locker, which is a note that leads to a trap that has to do with Goldar, and then he looks at it and reads, and like he doesn't read it, but he looks at it, and then basically what happens is he tells Billy that all he wants to do is win, and that's all it is. But that's basically because of the spell affecting his mind, because of the rope and everything. And basically, what happens is after that, Tommy leaves, and then basically, Billy reads the note, and he realized. Now, this is sort of similar to what happened back in season 1, when Rita used the praying mantis monster against Trini back in season 1, where a mysterious note was left behind. So, anyway, there are some similarities. Anyway, after Billy reads the note, he finds what it says is that he wants, that the person who wrote it wants him to come to the park alone because he has information that'll help him destroy Kimberly, and he realizes that it's probably a trap, so he basically informs the others about it, and then Tommy basically shows up at the park waiting for the person that put the note, and then Goldar shows up, and then Tommy morphs to his ranger form to deal with Goldar, and then Goldar says that he's, and then that's when Goldar brings out his putties, basically, and then what happens is after that, Goldar tells Tommy that, is he sure he can take them on by himself? What about his friends and stuff? So, and then Tommy basically tells him that he doesn't need their help to whip his clay cronies, which is the putties, basically, and that's basically when he manages to beat them a little, and well, he beats them, and then basically what happens is after that, well, he doesn't really beat him yet, but what happens is Zordon then notices that Tommy's in trouble at the park, and then he contacts the other Rangers to help to have Tommy, to have him aid Tommy in the fight against Goldar, basically. And then the other Rangers morph to their Ranger forms and help him out, but Kimberly's still under the effect of the spell and everything. Basically, said that why can't he ever do anything by himself? And basically, she starts running towards where he is to help him out, but he doesn't want his help. And then they start running towards where Goldar is to stop him. But then, because of that, their Ranger energies collide with each other. And then after that, they start arguing. And then Goldar is wanting to fight them, but they're still under the effects of the spell, so they ignore him while they argue, and then basically what happens is Rita uses that as an advantage to basically steal Saba away from Tommy, because as you guys remember when I introduced Tommy as the White Ranger thing, I said that Saba was basically his thing that allowed him to control the Tiger Zord, essentially. So basically, by tactically speaking, when they used the magnet in this episode to, because Saba is a sword that's made of metal, so a magnet works really good on it. Anyway, but continuing on with what I was saying, after they managed to get Saba, they managed to get away, and then the Rangers teleport back to the command center. And then Tommy and Kimberly are still arguing, and then basically what happens is Billy wonders if it's possible that Tommy and Kimberly are under some kind of spell, it might explain why they're acting like this. So Zordon then has Alpha do a scan on them to figure it out, and then basically what happens is he realizes, after the scan, that Billy's deduction was correct. Tommy and Kimberly are both under a spell that has turned them against each other, making them competitive. And he says that he tells them that there's only one way to break the spell, and then he brings out these roses basically, and he basically tells them to smell the roses, which are basically symbols of love and friendship, and that should break the spell. So it's a minor thing, but it makes sense that a flower could possibly, technically speaking, anyway, and Tommy's still under the effect of this spell, doesn't really want to at first, but then, and then Kimberly doesn't want to, but then, after some reassurance by Aisha that they have to do it to get the team back, and then after that, Tommy is saying that he's only doing this for the Rangers and not for her, and so he smells the roses, and that breaks the spell, and then Kimberly does the same thing, and after that he's feeling sort of bummed out about what he'd done under the spell, what he had said and everything, and then they have to find a way to get Saba back, and then basically that's where Billy comes up with the strategy to, since Saba is technically made of metal and they use like a magnet-like thing to steal him away, maybe they could build their own magnet to basically steal Saba back, which is what they do in this case. And then basically what happens is Rita and her minions show back up in the park, and then basically Rita says that she's waiting along, and then the Rangers go to deal with her, and then Kimberly realizes that she's got Saba, and then basically Rita said that I waited a long time to say this, come forward, Tiger Zord! So she uses Saba to call the Tiger Zord, and then the Rangers have to sort of deal with the Tiger Zord, and then after that, basically what happens is they manage to steal Saba back, and then Rita manages to get away after realizing that she's cornered, basically. So basically her and Zed's plans are basically stopped. Oh my god, which is kind of a funny thing that they were good to outdo each other. Anyway, speaking of that, in the next two videos I'm going to be doing, in the first one specifically, Rita's going to start a plan of her own that Zed is going to continue later once he wakes up about it, but I won't explain until I get to the next two videos. I just wanted to bring that up now since I brought it up beforehand. Anyway, after Rita and Zed get upset that they've been defeated, basically, they start arguing with each other again, and then basically, after that, it goes to a scene where the students of Angel Grove are in the youth center doing their election thing, and then afterward, when Tommy comes up, he basically says that he knows that they probably are expecting him to make some money, like he's the best person for the job and everything, but truth is, the best person for the job is Kimberly, so she's addressed a lot of points that he's interested in, points that come out of the school, and that's why he thinks that the best person for the job is Kimberly, basically, and then, so he decides to vote for her, and then, after that, Mr. Kaplan tallies the votes, and then Kimberly basically, he tells them that Kimberly won, and then Bulk gets upset by that, and he says he demands a recount, and then Kaplan tells him that he only got one vote, and Bulk thinks it could be impossible, because if he voted for him, and Skull voted for him, but that's when he wonders about the one vote kind of thing, is if Skull voted for him or not, but then Skull tells Bulk that he didn't, because he really liked Kimberly's speech, and then Kimberly won, and then wins, and then basically after that, Tyler gives her a rose, telling her that to Kimberly the best person for the job, and that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, I'm probably gonna post it a little later today and everything. I just wanted to record it now since I had the chance, but I'll post it later, probably after supper or something. So until the next Power Ranger video, guys, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and I will see you guys next time for the next video. So until then, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.